Okay, so it's a little bit kind of like different stories. So I feel like, different groups of people are watching this. So let me just say this. While I was shuffling, I was channeling the message about, this card being, should I stay or should I go? Is it over or is it not? So there's a lot of like uncertainty here. And you're trying to find your footing. You're trying to find that, closure. You're trying to find that definitive yes or no. And I feel like the answer is it's done, it's over with. There isn't a way to repair it. But I feel like for whatever reason, and I feel like, it's not that you're emotionally in love with another person. It's just that, there's this sense of belief that I put so much of myself in this relationship. I built it from the ground up. And I thought the other person was on board with me. I thought we were going to last. And it turns out I was wrong. So, just the whole concept of I thought it was real, but it turned out not to be real. And I feel that it's really affecting the way that you approach the other areas of your life now. It's almost as if I don't know what's real anymore. So what I'm sensing for some of you is that, should I stay or should I go? Is it done and over with, or is it not? Are they going to ever come back? Will I ever have a chance to reconcile? And I do sense that the relationship that you were in is not the right one for you. Okay. So if it's done, it's over. If it's done with, it's over. And if you're still contemplating whether or not you still have a second chance, then I do feel that, you're looking in the wrong direction. Okay. So there's a lot of like, just, back and forth, this shifty energy about you for your relationship sector that I feel it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in limbo, and it's keeping you very, very stagnant. So they're telling you need to move on. All right. You need to move on. If you want to be happier, if you want to be more emotionally fulfilled, if you even want to put yourself out there and try to meet the right people, you're going to have to move on. And you're going to have to stop replaying, that relationship in the past, and whether or not it's truly over. Okay. So let me just talk about how this relates for some of you. So some of you are dealing with this situation, like you're coming into the month of February with this in mind. We have here the Queen of Cups in the reverse and the Knight of Cups. Okay. So I feel some of you are dealing with a water sign, and water sign Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I keep seeing it's almost like two people that when they met, they have a very, very similar life experience. They might have gone through the same things. They might have encountered the same issues in life at the same age, for example. And so automatically when you meet this person, you're like, wow, this person is exactly like me. We're like kindred spirits. We're like soulmates. But a lot of the times, we have a connection to somebody based on, the way that the life experiences that we share. It doesn't always mean that people have learned the lessons the right way. So I feel like one person has been through a lot in life, a lot of hardships, financial, family, education, whatever it is. And the person grew from it. The person is still optimistic. The person is still very, very hopeful and joyful and, appreciates the little things in life. And then the other person who has gone through a lot of hardships and is pretty much broken by it. Okay. So I feel there's an element here of some of you have been being involved with, or, having been in a relationship with somebody that might have had a very similar history to you. So because of that, you have this natural sense of loyalty to them. You feel like, oh, they've been hurt before. I want to take care of them. I want to make sure they're okay because I've been through it and I wanted someone to take care of me and make things okay. And so there's this also like this martyr mentality associated with it, which is not healthy overall. So they're saying like one person might have like really grown and taken in the life lessons, and their life experience didn't break them. It made them stronger. And then the other person is a little bit jaded. So I feel like, depending on which side of the coin you're on, then you understand, whether or not this applies to you or which person that applies to, okay? Like which person you are. Are you still that optimistic person, or are you the one that is a little bit jaded and a little bit resentful? So I feel like both sides of the coins are at work here. In the past position, we have here the Star, as well as the Four of Coins. And the message that I'm getting is, I feel like you were involved with somebody with a health issue. So either like an emotional health issue, a physical health issues, or some type of they're saying like personality disorder, psychological thing, okay? And I feel like many of you, you felt almost as if you felt bad for this person. And you stayed and stayed and stayed. And I feel like within that relationship, there was a lot of financial lack. There were a lot of problems. The other person might not have been, sound enough to keep a stable job. And I feel almost like, because it's a medical issue, you felt bad for them. And you felt like, I want to stay and take care of them. I want to make sure they're okay. And you really did love them. But for whatever reason, the longer you stay, the more you realize that it really affected your financial, situation. It really affected your own mental health, your own emotional health as a result of staying in a relationship and having to give so much of yourself. Whether or not the other person is appreciative, that's not really the point. I just feel like you were running on empty. You didn't have any more to give. And yet you still clung on to that, situation, that person, because you understood that it's not them. At their best, they might have been very, very loving, very generous. But at their worst, I feel like they might have some type of a psychosis, like trauma. And they might have been just a little bit broken, okay? So it seems to me like it's a relationship that you try to hang on to. And likewise, somebody tried to hang on to you. And it really affected, the stability in the relationship, as well as I see a lot of control issues. I feel like somebody might have had like a personality disorder. And there's a lot of, like jealousy, control issues as well. That's what I'm sensing here. And, that's not a positive message by any means. But I feel that you have to understand they might have needed, they might have needed therapy. They might have needed a psychiatrist. They might not have needed a partner. They needed to take care of things emotionally, like almost in a treatment center. They needed medical help, okay? They needed medical or even psychological help. And being in that relationship, if you felt like you had to leave, don't feel guilty about it, because they didn't need a relationship. They needed help. So I hope that you understand, if that applies to you, I hope that you don't feel guilty about it. You had to do what you needed to do in order to remove yourself from it, because it was hurting both parties, right? And there wasn't an end in sight. They needed help. They don't need a partner, okay? They're not stable or healthy enough to be a well-functioning, well-meaning partner to you. So I feel like there's something here about, hanging on to a person, hanging on to a relationship that was not good. All right. What's coming through in the heart of the reading here? We have the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords indicates lies, deception. And it's also linked up here with the Seven of Wands. So first of all, I feel like somebody was like accusing two people. One person was accusing somebody of infidelity, making false accusations, or even like, anger, jealousy coming out over nothing. So I do sense there's a lot of imbalances here. And with the Seven of Swords, this is kind of like feeling intimidated and afraid of another person. So we can't really confront them head on. We have to rely to underhanded tactics, or wanting to break away from somebody and having to do it in the middle of the night, like having to leave in the middle of the night because of some issues of fear, intimidation. We have here as well the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands, this is a card about, not being able to defend ourselves, not being able to stick to our true values, not being able to speak out for what we believe in out of fear of reprisal or fear of intimidation or whatever it is. I do feel like a lot of you were in situations where you almost, it seems like you don't trust the other person, or you didn't trust the other person, but there, you couldn't even catch them in the act. You didn't have actual proof to confront them with it. But I feel like your intuition was telling you everything that you needed to know. All right. And then I feel like for others of you, you've met somebody new here, which is, you know, another water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You're feeling quite good. You're going out doing a lot of recreational things together. And I feel like a lot of you are reconnecting with people from your past. So like there's a myriad of things that are happening, but I feel the overwhelming theme here is a lot of you have left a very, very toxic relationship. And I feel as well, you might be jumping too soon into a new relationship, wanting to make that work, wanting to create an idyllic situation for that. But I feel like you need to heal yourself first, okay? Crowning this reading is something that you're thinking about. We do have the Justice card. And this is court, legal issues, separation, child custody. All of these things are weighing heavily on your mind, as well as your financial situation. So I feel like there are a lot of financial blockages preventing you from meeting new people. You need to get your foundation fixed. You need to get everything squared away so that you can be in the right emotional space to invite somebody else back into your life, okay? Or somebody new into your life, or like a person that you've never dated, to allow them to come into the picture. What's coming through in the future position, we have here the Sun. And with this in the reverse, it basically means that one of the things that needs to happen first is that you have to fall in love with yourself again. You have to, you know, have this sense of positive, I guess like positive body image, or even like understanding what you're worth. Otherwise, the people that you're attracting, it's like the same story being played out over and over again. So this is a card about self-esteem here. When it shows up in the reverse position, it basically means that if you're not whole and you know, if you're not whole, if you're not feeling whole, if you're not feeling empowered, if you're not feeling as if you're confident enough to attract people that are good for you, you might not be able to do that successfully. So they're saying that a lot of healing needs to take place from your end, and that boost of self-confidence needs to happen first, as well as that career success, feeling very, very good and stable in what you're doing, the work that you're doing, before you are able to move on from this, before you're able to stop cycling with, you know, people from the past, stop thinking about people from the past and ruminating over people from the past that might not have been good for you. So I feel like a major like paradigm shift needs to happen for many of you. And I do sense as well, you might be reconnecting with somebody from the past, and that has this energy that's not entirely positive, okay?